Hi, welcome back to Managing Life 101, where if you don't manage your life, it is absolutely going to take over and manage you at some point. So I'm Susan.
I'm Jim.
And we recently did a podcast on resolution, conflict resolution. And in that, we really focused on a specific situation that had just happened between us, a married couple. And we wanted to now really continue on that theme because conflict can happen the minute you leave the door or when you're in the house and you're on a call or you're Zooming or whatever. So we wanted to give a couple examples about just being out in public and also in work. And when we were talking about this, something came into my mind immediately about, this was a while ago, and I had gone to Home Depot for something, which is unusual because I usually don't go to Home Depot. Jim does. But I went to Home Depot for something, and I got one of those helpers to help me that really wasn't having a great day. And I could tell because I was really getting attitude from this individual. So inside of me, I started to notice, because this is being aware, this is some of the keys, into our effective communication, the 8 keys, that I started becoming defensive. So in being aware of that, I wanted to stop it right there because I didn't want to get all upset or in an argument with this person.
Sure.
I really went there to find something, and I just wanted some help. So I actually said to them, I said, could we just stop for a minute? Because I'm really feeling uncomfortable. I'm starting to feel a little defensive, and I don't know what's going on, but I'm sensing attitude, and I would really like to just take a breath and start over. And you know what? The person was really good. I mean, they were like, wow. So I said, hi, my name is Susan, and here's what I'm looking for. Could you possibly help me find that? Bingo, we got it resolved, we got it done. But you see, I recognized that inside of me. Because when you are dealing with conflict, you have to start to recognize what is going on inside of you. I started to feel myself becoming defensive, and I did not want to be an adversary to this person.
Sure.
I wanted this person to be my ally, to help me resolve and find what it was I wanted to find. And I just did and went about my way. But, that can happen so frequently. And we don't know what's going on in somebody else's life.
Sure.
When you go out there and you're dealing with the person at Home Depot or the checker at Walmart or whatever, you don't know what's going on with their life. And if there's something that's going on with them, I loved when you, in Walmart one time, you saw that somebody was having a bad day. Can you tell about that? And just what you did. It was pretty cool to be an overseer of this stuff too.
Yeah. I was just in line at Walmart, this is a couple of years ago, and I noticed that a few people ahead of me, this guy appeared to be giving the checkout lady a hard time, and I could not make out what was being said, but it didn't look pleasant at all. And so when I got up to her, I said, did that guy give you a bad time? And she said, yeah, but I just prayed for him.
Yeah, cool.
And I just said, wow. I said, can I pray for you? She says, yeah. So I put my hand on her shoulder and asked God to give her a good day and give her peace and direct her steps and bring about a nice day and a nice evening in Jesus' name. She said, thank you so much. We hugged each other.
Isn't that cool?
We hugged.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it was a moment. And when she said I just prayed for him, that modeled behavior for me.
Right.
That showed me how I should act and respond.
Right.
In the future.
Yeah.
When things aren't going my way.
Yes.
With whoever I'm dealing with.
Right.
I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
The also some time ago, this guy I knew who had a business. It was manual labor business, and I heard that he hired somebody I knew. So I called him and I said, I said, just heads up, I said, they're newly sober. Newly sober. And I know you have people working for you who are also newly sober. So keep an eye on him because he's brand new.
Yeah.
And he could manipulate your other guys. And it just,
Yeah.
heads up. And he thanked me, and then he, at one point, shared with the person, are you new in the program? And, newly sober. Yes, I am, and he said, okay, good, I support that. And then this person put two and two together on how he found that out and called me and said, I don't appreciate you telling him that I'm newly sober.
Yeah.
In the program. And I said, okay, I hear you. I said, you are a newcomer and you have a bad track record of going out and using again literally within a couple weeks of your sobriety. So I called him because he's a friend of mine. And I told him to keep an eye on you for the simple reason that you're a newcomer with a bad track record. And it's his business, and you're operating in his territory with his customers, and that deserves to be watched.
Yeah.
And she said, well, I'm really upset about that. And I said, well, you go ahead.
Yeah.
You can be upset about
Yeah,
that.
he wasn't happy.
And
Okay.
and he said, it's called Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah.
And I said, I realize that. But this guy is a friend of mine, and he needs to know you're a newcomer.
Yeah.
I said, once you get a little sobriety under your belt, you will realize why I told him
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you were a newcomer. And if you want to be mad at me in the meantime, go right ahead. Be mad at me. I'm not mad at you. I understand where you're coming from. You don't understand as of yet where I'm coming from, but if you stay sober and work the program,
Awesome.
you will understand
And have a great life.
where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
I said the bottom line is all you have to do is show up every day,
Yeah.
ready for work, do a good day's work,
Yeah.
and leave at the assigned time, and do it sober. And that's all you have to do. And there's zero issue,
Yeah.
okay? And we hung up, and that was it.
Yeah.
So,
And dealing with, it's just, there's so many different ways that we deal with conflict, and so many things, it made me think about when you were in business and you had this one customer that wasn't paying you. I remember you used to go there every day. I can't remember where it was. It was that.
well, there were a few over
Yeah.
the years.
I
That
know.
wasn't just one.
But it was, I think it's really interesting because in a very calm but direct way, and direct does not mean angry.
No,
first
not at
of
all.
all. And direct, sometimes I get very direct in my voice when I get focused. And I'm not angry. I'm being direct on this is what I want done, this is how I want it done, and what's going to be our resolution. It's very much like in both of us being in recovery. It is kind of like, here's what happened, here's what I did, and here's what it's like now. So, but it was that round building in Long Beach, I can't remember. But anyhow, I used to go and show up there all the time.
I showed up, there was a number of times that this happened if somebody owes you money,
Yeah,
whether it's personal or business.
yeah, it doesn't matter.
I went there every Friday,
Yeah,
and I said, you have to make good on your bill. I showed up, I performed the work, and at the time, this one particular job, it was a hazmat spill. And so I hired a vacuum truck and got signed off with the fire department. I mean, it was
big.
pretty major, bureaucratic fix. And I did it and kept him out of trouble. And then he's not paying me. So I went every Friday and I said, you have to give me something. I don't care if it's $100. you have to give me something. And I knew where he would be every Friday because of his business, you know. He had a small manufacturing plant, and that's where he had his spill. And so I knew he'd be there. And he didn't know what time of day I would show up, but I showed up every Friday, and I got paid eventually.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to settle for not being paid. And one time we loaned our neighbor a month's rent in Long Beach.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, I'll pay you back on the first. The first came and went. I said, hey, you said you'd pay me. You haven't. He said, well, I can't right now. He said, but I'm going to. And I said, when? And he said, on the 15th. He said, I get another check. And then the 15th came and went. And I went over and I said, look, I loaned you your rent in good faith.
Yeah.
To me, you're a man of your word. I'm going to hold you to your word to pay me.
Yeah.
You have to pay me. There's no not paying me. So how much can you give me right now? And it was $50. I said, okay,
Yeah.
get 50 on account. When is the next time you can make a payment towards this? And he told me, and within a couple months, I had the money back.
Yeah.
But you know, and one time this happened with a Holiday Inn franchise in downtown Long Beach. Again, it was a big job, and I went there, and they, you know, I mailed in the invoice. They didn't pay me. I went there on Friday, and I would stand at the check-in counter, and I would just let them know, you have to give me something. Whatever you took in today in cash, you got to pay on account. You know, I'm a small business. I have payroll to make,
Right.
fuel cost, insurance cost,
Right.
workers' comp cost, every kind of cost you could think of, the same as you. So I performed, you have to pay me. And they paid.
Yeah.
It took a while, but they paid. And all you're doing is asking for what's rightfully yours.
Yeah.
And I never raised my voice,
Never.
never cursed,
Never.
never got out of character, as people say. I didn't. I just said, you contracted the work, I performed, you have to pay me.
Yeah. And it's so good because in business, if you're a business person, that is really a tough time, especially when it comes to money. People get really afraid to ask for money. And there's nothing, it's walking through that fear. You know, it's walking through, excuse me, Sheena's here now. It's walking through that fear to help it disappear.
Yeah, that's right.
Is what will happen.
Yeah.
In business. And, you know, in friendships, if you lend money, then we have actually come to realize that not to have expectations. So we're very selective about the lending money now.
Yeah.
But that is something to do. If you're out there and you're thinking, oh gosh, I lent somebody, you know, $10 and $10 is a lot for you, it's okay to go and have a little confrontation with that person. And I love how you say, you know, you are a man of your word. Okay, are you a woman of your word? Do you have integrity? I lent this to you in good faith, and I would like to have my money come back to me. And even if it's $1 a day or $1 a week, because what you do is you help people be accountable for their actions too.
Yeah.
You know, we do teach people how to treat us. And so by not getting upset and being direct, the results have really, there's only one time that we've never gotten back what we did. And that's okay. You know what? Because we realize that we pray for that person, I'm totally over it, but we prayed for that person, and that their life turned around, you know?
Yeah.
That whatever that was, that helped them to turn around.
Yeah, because they can't feel good about themselves.
No.
Knowing that they screwed us out of money.
Yeah.
And
Out of integrity.
I'm sure that, well, I'm not really sure, but pretty sure that was not their intention.
Yes.
You know,
Right.
Initially.
Yeah.
But it turned out that way.
Yeah.
And hey,
Yeah.
we've been blessed 100 times over.
Many times. Many.
And so I just, you know,
Yeah.
like you said, we prayed for them. And
Yep.
I even wrote an email to this person some years later, and I just said, I forgive you your debt. So
Yeah.
if it
Yeah.
ever comes to mind, you don't have to think about it.
Right,
Because I put it out of my mind.
right.
And
That's so good.
I felt good about it,
Yeah.
you know? And because God, when I gave that, and I do like that amount of money, it was pretty substantial. I just said, dear Lord, it's your money.
Yeah, it's true.
If once I give it to you, you'll give it back to us if you see fit in 100 different ways.
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
you
It's
know?
so cool. It kind of makes me think that everything is a gift. And so if you are giving the gift, you're giving it without strings and without expectations.
True.
If you're receiving the gift, receive it. If it's within an agreement, honor the agreement, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But, and you know, another thing in business, because you having your own business, I worked in the corporate world and there was conflict all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, not all the time, but I definitely ran into conflict. And as the years went by, of course, learned how to deal with it better and better and better. And I had this one assistant that worked with me. And it was challenging because she had an unpredictable attitude. The unpredictability of an individual's attitude of how they're going to show up, especially if it's someone you work with every day,
Yeah.
can really be crazy making. It can make you crazy.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'd gotten to a point that when I asked her to do a few things, because she was my assistant to help me in my work, she really gave me attitude. And I was like, I'm done. I'm done. We went, I said, come with me, please. Can you please come with me? We went into the conference room. And we really started, I mean, it was kind of like everything got put on the table. You know, she doesn't like me. Well, I don't particularly care for you. And you know, we were going through this thing. And my boss even came in, you know. And here's what he said, which was so good. He said, you guys have to learn to work together. And it's true. I mean, this is the thing. God gives us an opportunity to work with other people. And what it is it is that opportunity to learn how to work with other people. So I know we both left that room. There was no yelling. I mean, we weren't screaming or anything. We weren't swearing. None of that happened. But there was a definite dislike. He really had a dislike for me. And I had a definite frustration with the attitude. And so we had to learn how to get along.
Yeah.
So what I did is came home, talked with you, because this happened towards the end of the day. And we prayed about it, and we prayed for her. And you know, the next morning I went into her cubicle, was right next to mine. And I just said, listen, I said, I want to make amends to you for what happened, how it went down yesterday. I said, I am committed to doing whatever it takes to create a healthy, working, harmonious work environment. And if there's something that's going on, please let me know what it is as soon as possible. Don't hold on to those things.
Yeah.
Because if I can change it, I absolutely want to do that. You know what? We turned out, she was my assistant, I think for another year or two. We had a fantastic relationship.
Yeah.
We really ended up being such good teammates working together.
Yeah.
The synergy within our team was really good.
Yeah.
But it took that dealing with that conflict and then the conflict resolution to be able to handle it.
Yeah.
And create a whole new environment. So, whether it's your own business, whether you're out in a store shopping, whether you work in the corporate world, whatever it is, ask God, first of all, to help you. Help me, dear Lord, get along with this person. Show me what it is I need to do to resolve it on my end. And learn that if you don't have these dialogues, if you do not have these, if I had not had that carefrontation, we call it because you care about them, with this individual, we would have had a horrible working relationship because we both would have built up resentments, and then it would have been
Yeah, you never dealt with it.
Oh, and it would have, poisoned the office. But we resolved it.
Yeah.
This is what's important. Resolve your
Yeah.
conflicts. Do it from a place of calmness, as calm as you can be inside. I mean, when we talked in our last podcast about the conflict Jim and I had in our marriage, yeah, it was 10 minutes where I was heated. And he allowed me to be able to share what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got it out, which is really good, and then I listened to what he had to say. So this is what a conversation is like. This is what resolving a conflict looks like. Is one person talks, the other person listens, then the other person talks, and that person listens. It's not this interrupting and, it's not, because it'll drive you crazy. There's nothing that can be accomplished. And let's face it, bottom line, this is all about managing life.
It is.
This is what we talk about.
Mm-hmm.
We bring forth subjects that every person runs into at some time or other in the life.
Mm-hmm.
And how are you going to manage that?
Yeah.
So, Managing Life 101, how to deal with conflict, a continuation of what we just talked about.
Sure.
And learning that if you do not learn how to manage your life, it's definitely going to manage you.
Definitely.
Yeah. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.